Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome aboard. Let's get started with this presentation today. My name is Patti Cash, and I'm the owner at Magic Cruises and Tours. And with us today, we have Mr. Reiner Marks, who is the Director of Business Development for Viking Cruises. Reiner, if you could pop the next slide on. See our cute little faces there. Isn't he a cute bug? The next slide. There you go. There we are, right there with you. Boy, we miss seeing you in person. These virtual presentations are kind of neat and certainly very convenient for everybody, but we really miss seeing you in person, and we hope that soon we will be back with you and sharing these wonderful educational programs with you face to face. Before I go any further, I just want to take a few moments to introduce some fine ladies to you. There's quite a few new faces on this presentation with us today, and also quite a number of folks that have booked with us over the years. And I say thank you to all of you for taking your time to be with us today. We truly appreciate your support and your loyalty over the years. For those that don't know us, again, I'm Patti Cash. We've got a great staff of very experienced sales professionals here at Magic Cruises and Tours. We're right in the heart of downtown Worthington. We have been here since 1988. And boy, when they say time flies when you're having fun, that is really true. These days, times are flying by. We are family owned and operated. We are vacation specialists. So when you think of vacations, please think Magic. We represent all the different cruise lines, as well as a wide variety of tour operators and all-inclusive resorts that some folks don't know that. But for today's purposes, I think it's just important that you know that all of our agents have sailed on Viking Cruises. Myself many times. In fact, my first Viking cruise, I got hooked and I've been back again and again and again. And all of our staff has been through all the Viking academies. So they're very well prepared to assist you with your plans on a Viking cruise. Now, when you registered for the presentation today, we asked you if you've been on Viking cruises before. And we got a good amount of people that have, yes, I've been on Viking cruises before. We loved them. We can't wait to go again. Some folks said, no, I haven't been on board a Viking cruise yet. But you're in the right place. No matter where you are or who you are, you're in the right place to be with us today. We'll take good care of you. We're going to learn a little bit more about Viking if you're new to Viking. And if you've been on Viking before, then I want to just tell you to remember that there's some really great values that are added as part of their loyalty programs. And our agents are prompt to talk with you about this. So don't worry, we won't let you forget. But once you've sailed on Viking cruises, you automatically qualify for additional savings, passenger discounts. And what you might not know is that they're also offering referral credits. And so, you know, keep this in mind. There's a number of new to Viking people out there. And if you recommend that they book a Viking cruise at Magic Cruises and Tours, then you make sure that they give us your name and you'll get credit. You'll get $100 per person credit for every referral when the guests fill out their passenger information forms. And they'll also get an additional $100 per person. So great opportunities. We love to piggyback all these different savings and promotional offers and stuff to make sure that we're always getting our clients the very, very best deal. We like to spread your money, so get your biggest bang for your buck. Now, with us today, we have Mr. Reiner Marks, and Reiner is certainly one of our most favorite Vikings out there. We have a long history with Reiner. Reiner has a long history with Viking Cruises, and we'll let him go into that as he shares his wealth of information with you this evening. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you, Patti. Thank you, Marcia, for letting me be here on with you today and talk to you. So thank you for joining. Thank you for all your interest. I really appreciate you being on here. We'll talk a little bit about these topics that you see up here. And I'm very, very excited to finally talk about travel again. This is not a mythical date somewhere in the future. We're actually out there. We're traveling again. It feels so good getting these first feedbacks from Bermuda, from Iceland, where people already have sailed 2 cruises, 3 cruises in, right? It's wonderful, you know, to see the comments on Cruise Critic. Many reach out to their travel advisors already and tell us and tell their travel advisor how wonderful it is to be out there again. So I want to give you a little bit of feedback today. What can you book for this year, even as crazy as it sounds? Yes, we have a product and cruises for you to book this year. And then, of course, further out, and I hear from Patti and Marcia that many of you are new to looking into Viking. So I want to give you some of the ideas of where to start, because that's, I think, often a conversation that you, Patti, have with clients is, well, where should I start? I've never done this, you know, what should be my first cruise? So we're going to help you with that, and then also kind of follow up. If you've been on Viking before, what might be the next one, right? Your second, third, 15th, whichever it is. So without further ado, let's talk a little bit about why would you even consider a river cruise? What is this craziness all about? Now, I'm always starting my talk with comparing it kind of a land tour. We all have land tours before and bus journeys and those kind of things. And the one nuisance that we've encountered is that we have to change hotels every day. It's long transfers into the city. It's long time of sitting on a motor coach. Now, here's the thing with a Viking cruise, with a river cruise in general, I think you're in the destination. The image that we're looking at here is Budapest. So Budapest, geographically, you cannot be more central to the city of Budapest than where our docking location is. That is the famous chain bridge in the heart of Budapest. Now, many of your tours, many of your journeys will be walking tours right from the ship. So you walk off the vessel, there's your tour guides, and off you go, English speaking, and off you go. Many times these are a short walk away, and you're right there. You're spending more time being there and exploring than getting there. I think that's one of the huge benefits of a river cruise. Of course, unpacking only once. Now, how amazing is it to have your hotel follow you around? Instead of you hopping from hotel to hotel, you actually have that hotel take you places. The staterooms are amazing. They're comfortable. Patti can vouch for that. They have all the amenities of a very nice hotel, of a fine hotel. And I know she is a big fan of the little shower gels and all of those, right?
You're gonna rat me out now. I love these. I love their products on board the Viking Cruises because they're excellent products, number one. But number two, because I can actually read what they are. This is body wash. This is shampoo. It says it in big bold letters that I can see without my glasses on when I'm in the shower.
Right, and the thinking the thinking was exactly that. Who's going to wear glasses in the shower, right? So let's make them big so you can see that, right? So these are just some of the this attention to detail that went into creating this amazing product, right? And this amazing way of traveling and the amenities. Now, very similar to ocean cruising, and I think many of you have done ocean cruising before, is that you wake up in a different city, that's for sure, a new city each day. But along the way to get to that city, you're sailing along some of the most interesting and most beautiful countrysides and strips of countrysides that you can imagine. Vineyards, small towns, villages are passing by, people waving from cafes in the along the shorelines. It is absolutely magical. So here you have an image of Prague, or on the Moselle, you're visiting Cochem. These are typical sceneries, typical views from along the rivers that you can look forward to. Oh. Like I mentioned, these ships are docked in the heart of town. Here you see where we are docking in Paris, and it's a stone throw away from the Eiffel Tower. It is literally right there, right? So what's amazing also is we know why people come on Viking, and the reasons are the common interest in culture, in art, in music, in the culinary world, right? And with that in mind, the cruises that we've curated are focusing on UNESCO World Heritage sites, and we're visiting all of those that are lined up along the way, whether it's the famous Louvre or in Egypt, the pyramids of Giza, and everything in between. Anything that is of interest in terms of culture, we are going to visit. Now, what should we say about this magical spot here in the front of the ship? Now, it is a very, very intimate experience. Keep in mind, there's only 190 passengers on the river ship like this, right? So it's, I think by day 3, sometimes by day 2, your crew will remember your breakfast preference. They will know you know, how you like your eggs scrambled over easy, sunny side up. I don't know how they do it, but on day 2, day 3, they have this down. They see you walk in, they know where you like to sit, and they know you like your coffee shaken, not stirred, or whichever it is, right? But because it is such a small group of passengers, it's also really nice to share these experiences. Let me remind you, everybody on board will be from an English-speaking country. Not only your crew will speak English, you will find 80% of the travelers from North America, so Canadians, folks from the United States, about 10%, 12% folks from England, and the rest from Australia, New Zealand, maybe. Now, granted, the English folks, they struggle with English a little bit, but you know, we we get the point across. All the printing material, all your materials on board are in English. Your TV programming, your channels are, you know, based on the BBC. You know, normally the left side of the ship is watching CNN, the right side is watching Fox, and in the middle it's probably BBC. I don't know. So, anyway, but English movies, English-speaking movies that you can download, and so on and so forth. So it's all geared towards English-speaking guests. So no 3 announcements in all kinds of languages. It's all in English. Now, as for the experience, I mean, when we look at the value, and Patti will talk about it in a little bit, also what kind of value Magic Cruises will add to what Viking is offering. And that's not a little, that's quite substantially. And she's absolutely right. Using a travel agent, using the Magic Ladies will add a lot of value to you, monetary and peace of mind and everything in between, right? But things that we add are daily shore excursions. So how nice is it not to have to worry about, well, can I book this? Can I book this? No, it is included. It is really your decision whether you go or not. Sometimes you may not feel, but you can go. It's guaranteed, right? Daily shore excursion is always included, and it is an immersive experience. It may be a short bus ride. It gives you the overview of the city. There's walking tours. It gets you into the museums, into the castles, into wineries. So these kind of tours. And then there is a number of special interest tours. We call those optional excursions that go into, let's say you are interested in the Lipizzaner horses in Vienna. Special interests, maybe not everybody is interested in those, but we have a number of those lined up every single day. You might be a lover of classical music. Off you go to the Mozart concert, right? Or the Vienna Boys Choir is one of them. How charming, how lovely are these angelic voices to listen to. It is absolutely wonderful. Now, again, many things that we include, like the beer, wine, and dinner. We all, I mean, this is a European cruise line. We are Norwegian by heart, and we feel that beer and wine are part of a decent meal. They should be included, hands down. So that's part of a meal. Now, when it comes to hard liquor, not everybody might enjoy hard liquor. So we make these optional. But even there, you know, the silver beverage package is like, what, Patti, $30 a day? Is it right around there?
Very affordable, yes.
It is very affordable, and it doesn't break the bank compared to, you know, we know what we paid on ocean before. Now, when we talk about food, now this is definitely something that I enjoy. I'm a foodie, hands down. I love good food. I love to try new things, and oftentimes I pick my travels based on the cuisine, because I always try to find new things in different regions of the world. And when traveling with Viking, I can tell you, we cook the food of the destination. So dining on Viking, you pretty much get a flavor of the destination, right? It doesn't make sense to serve chop suey when you're somewhere in Egypt, right? You're gonna get the food of the destination. When you're in France, you get the coq au vin, you get the sauce bordelaise, and you get those kind of things. It is reflecting the destination, because let's face it, the culinary world is very much part of the culture of a destination, of a people, right? And it should be fresh, it should be locally sourced, it should be cooked to order. Our chefs, and I used to be one of them in a different lifetime, right?
Yes.
You know, these guys are fantastic. They take a lot of pride in their work. They're wonderful people, and they take it to heart. They're service people. So even if you have an allergy, let Patti know, let her team know. If there is a garlic allergy, nuts, what else is there? Gluten, right? There's many of allergies out there. Let Patti know. She will communicate that with us. And when you get on board, I guarantee you, our executive chef will sit down with you, will make sure you have the same fantastic dining experience as anyone else will have. So,
let me just also add on that, Reiner. If you don't have adventurous taste buds, certainly know that you can always for sure order regular American food off the menu that's always available, whether it be a shrimp cocktail or a steak or chicken breast. Those items are also readily available.
Very true. Now, I tell you from my own experience, the day that we have pickled herring as an option on the buffet, this is usually the day where we see the steak sales go up quite a bit. But it is a flavor of the destination. Why not? So keep in mind that those are multiple options. Of course, even the regional options are multiple to choose from. And Patti, thank you for saying that or bringing that up. There's multiple fallback options: salmon, grilled salmon, steak, chicken, Caesar salad. Those kind of things are always available. Now, when it comes to entertainment, if you've never been on a river ship, I just kind of want to let you know that you're not going to see these large, Broadway stage productions. This is not what we're going to see, because we have space limitations, right? We don't have these big theaters on board. But what you're rather going to see is, again, adding to the cultural aspect, folkloric performances, singers, dancers, maybe see traditional instruments. You will see lectures from historians that might travel with us for the day and talk about sites of World War II, the Bridge of Arnhem or the European Union. I mean, those kind of lectures are given in the lounge, and they add a lot of value. They're very well attended. Normally our performances are right after dinner in the lounge. And after these performances, we have our onboard musician play dance tunes. He takes requests, and we have a beautiful dance floor. So there's quite some people dancing, right? Like you've seen folks shaking a leg.
Definitely some other things. I mean, we've had wonderful glass blowing demonstrations and silk scarf making and things like that were just really fascinating.
Absolutely. And again, this goes into the traditions, into the crafts, the arts, what is the economy of the destination. So the glass blowing is really amazing what they can do. Just these little figurines, it blows my mind, right? So these are the type of entertainment or educational events that you can look forward to on board. Really nice, and I think this is what one of the big points why we see so much interest in river cruising is that you travel at your own pace. What does that mean? We all have different interests. Doesn't mean that Patti might be going out there and touring like a local and rubbing elbows with the locals, go on public transportation, and she's out and about. Where somebody else might be, hey, let's just do the highlights. I spent a little time at the bar yesterday. I want to take it easy today. So you have different pace that you can choose from, and you do that every day. There's different paces, touring like a local, highlights only. Where we take a little, more breaks. It's also if somebody is not well on foot, we take a little more breaks. We do more restroom breaks on those highlights only tours, and we make sure that we pace them accordingly. So there's overall, yes.
Can I interrupt you too? Because what you don't see here, but what Viking does offer on both ocean and river, on the tours, it's the quiet box, the whisperer that each guest will have in their own stateroom, and you just wear that little earbud and you just hear the tour guide speaking as you're walking around. You don't have to be right up close and watching their mouth move in order to hear what they're saying, and it just allows you the freedom to enjoy all the information and also absorb all the surroundings as you're on tour.
Absolutely. Do you remember years and years ago where they had these megaphones to keep the group together? You can't use those in a museum, right? So it has come a long way, and that's absolutely true. which by the way now enables us also, and that's a blessing in itself, to keep social distancing, right? We don't have to be close together as a group. We can keep our distance and hear exactly what's been said on these tours. Now, very, very popular river cruises are these that I'm going through really quick here. The Rhine Getaway, for years and years, a very, very popular 8-day journey. So is the Romantic Danube. You see, these are the top 4 selling, top most popular cruises with Viking: Danube Waltz, and if you will, the big one, the Grand European Tour, the 15 days. Such a fantastic tour. I never had anybody come back from the Grand European Tour and was like, no, everybody was just blown away and had a fantastic time. Now, and I'm sure that's your experience as well, Marcia and Patti, that guests that start their river cruise career maybe start with an 8-day, just kind of see how this is going, maybe add 2 days in ports. I think that's commonly what we see. And then kind of like on their second journey, they go all in because it was so amazing. So normally people kind of graduate to the 15, 21 days even, right? We have those too.
Yeah, yeah. And, you know, truly, if you've got the time, the budget is amazingly advantageous, because on an itinerary like the Grand European Tour, the 14-day tour, often we have free airfare incorporated in that. You know, you're paying the flights anyways. You might as well take advantage of seeing as much as you can as you go. But as Reiner said, some of us don't have that luxury of being gone that long. And so what happens is you just go back again and again and again till you get it all.
You know, we have to do what we have to do, right? And as even if I want to get away from the kids for 15 days, it's not always working, right? So I have to do the 8 days as well, and I enjoy them very much. But you know, kind of like back to what Patti said, and add on like a pre-extension 2 days before the cruise to acclimate, because you know, when we fly from Ohio to Amsterdam, for example, that's a long flight, right? So you're in a different time zone. It really helps you to acclimate, to get a little sleep under your belt, to, you know, walk a little in the outside to get over that jet lag. Big fan of extensions, even before, after, both work well.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there's a variety of pre and post optional tours that we can put on with the Viking cruise, and we're seeing more people do like some back-to-back cruises, Reiner, or including a river cruise and an ocean cruise at the same time with reservations. So there's a lot of creativity out there available.
And I like that the product is so customizable, right? You can spend some time on your own, show up on the day of sail date at the port and do your journey, you know, and still use the benefit of a Viking air ticket, right? You can fly in a week before your cruise with a discounted air, do your personal touring or after the cruise and still get that discounted air rate. That is definitely possible. So talk to your travel advisor. This is the huge benefit of being able to have these options, to look at their experience, because they've done these things, right, numerous times. I know, Patti, your agency is one of the best-selling agencies of Viking product in the state of Ohio. So kudos to you. You know these things.
Kudos to the agency here, that's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. So there's more, you know, like I always say, but wait, there's more. The waterways of the Tsars, this might be a little while and this comes back, so we're looking in 2022, but this is, if you want to experience the true heart and soul of Russia, go on the river. This is an amazing experience, once in a lifetime. Paris in the heart of Normandy, a history focus, right? Chateaus, rivers, and wine. Where are my wine lovers? by sign of hand, right? This is your wine lovers tour. Portugal's River of Gold, so charming, an amazing food experience, and everything in between. There's so many different angles to look at a Viking cruise. And I want to help you a little bit with that by just kind of point out what are the angles on each of those rivers, on each of those cruises. If you've never been, maybe you want to consider the Rhine Getaway, the Grand European, the Romantic Danube. These are top itineraries that are between 8 and 15 days. We saw them earlier. Now, while we don't have necessarily themed cruises, they're all throughout the year go into the same museum. Some of the excursions might change because they're seasonal, so we don't have a necessarily wine only approach. We make sure that if we're sailing through a wine area, we will taste the wines, we will pair them with food, we'll taste the brandies, the cognacs, the beers, the wines, and all of those kind of things. And these are some of my picks that really work the very best. If you are a lover of good wines, you may want to consider one of those. Talk to Patti, which one works the best for you. She will point you in the right direction. And not saying that she likes wine very much, but she has the knowledge of all of those. So
we've sampled quite a bit, yes.
hey, just for business, of course, right? So now there's also the approach, and this is just one of many, approaching a cruise from a history standpoint. So whether you're interested in World War II history, right, the beaches of Normandy, the Grand European Tour, where there's many theaters of World War II, the back end of World War II, maybe do the World War II tour in Nuremberg, which is incredibly interesting because we're going into the courthouse where the Nuremberg trials were held. Just some of these amazing tours, the Bridge of Arnhem, I mentioned those. Passage to Eastern Europe takes you behind the Iron Curtain, some more like socialist era kind of a history, but nevertheless so interesting for the history enthusiasts, for the history buffs amongst you. The choices are nearly endless, right? So just to give you a couple of highlights of the different rivers here on the Danube, cultural capitals, monasteries, some amazing wine areas, the Wachau Valley that you get to experience. And from a food standpoint, absolutely amazing. Now, here's one thing that I just want to emphasize and stress: do not plan a diet before going on a Viking cruise. I pretty much guarantee you we're going to ruin it. So on the Rhine, you're looking at amazing castles. Remember that commercial that Viking put out there? I'm sure you've seen some of them, where the ship comes down the river and you see all those castles popping up left and right. That's the Rhine River, right? There's over 30 different castles showing up left and right. It's incredibly beautiful. So sit back on the sun deck, have your favorite server keep the supply of wine coming from the region that you're sailing through, right? Of course, we want to keep it authentic, and you sail and take in all these amazing little villages and castles. It is magical. The Middle Rhine itself is one of the most beautiful stretches you can see on the rivers. So I think it should be on your startup list for river cruising, hands down. Often a little underestimated is the Main River. The Main River is a stretch that we're sailing on the Grand European, but this is the heart of Germany. This is where, you know, the source of a lot of pride of the Germans. This is where lots of our culture comes from. Heine, Goethe, Schiller, there's a lot of history along this way. The great German poets, maybe lesser known outside of Germany, but again, this is the heart and soul, the small villages of Germany that are half timbered houses and so charming to walk, you know, these cobbled streets here and experience, you know, pretty much the heart of Germany. This is really what it is, right? Mm-hmm. A little off the beaten path, and that is home, that is close to my, if you will, place where I was born in East Germany, actually, is the Elbe River. So the Elbe is, you pretty much start or end your journey in Berlin, and so it's between Berlin and Prague. So it's off the beaten path, yes, but look at this scenery, right? This is not necessarily something that has been available forever. So just in the last 10, 12 years, the Elbe came onto the market as a travel destination, but it is so charming, so romantic, wild romantic at times. Can you imagine sailing through these areas with a little bit of morning fog over the river, and you're sailing through, the ships break through the morning fog, and you're looking at a landscape like that? That just gives you the chills. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. You might have your first morning coffee, your first mug of coffee in the morning, as you're experiencing landscapes like this with a lot of history. Meissen porcelain, right? Some of the oldest porcelains in the world. We're going into the manufacturer where they make them, learn about those kind of histories. So again, so many different topics and culture and history that we're touching on, too much to squeeze into a half hour of talking, right? And Patti, I know you've been in France, right? On the Seine.
We? Yes.
Yes, we as in you and I, or we, yes.
Yes, we in both.
We in both, yes. We met
Yeah.
we met actually on the Viking event in France, and it was absolutely amazing. So it's always fun to travel with Patti. Now here we're looking at the beautiful Seine, charming villages. Of course, we're starting this journey in Paris, the most romantic city in the world. And if you don't do any extensions anywhere on this one, it's almost a must. You need to spend some time in Paris. The food, the coffee, the lifestyle, the art, I mean, I don't know where to start. I'm a big fan. So
Reiner, on the Seine though, it's such a diverse experience, because when you're in Paris, right? It's a big metropolitan Paris. But as you cruise out the countryside, it becomes beautiful farmland, these chalk mountains along the way, and these wonderful little villages where people are just charming and hospitable and welcoming, and they love Americans. And honest to goodness, this should be one itinerary that I think everybody should go on at some point in their life, to really appreciate the beaches of Normandy and what our guys went through in the war. And there's such reminders there still to this day that just it touches your soul. So it's a great itinerary.
It does. And I on my last journey, the one that we both went, it was an amazing day. And I remember when we put down the flowers at the American cemetery. What a beautiful ceremony, right? When they played the trumpets, the fanfare to honor the fallen. When some of our sales team, some gentlemen on our sales team, they served as Marines in a former life, and they had the honor of putting down the flowers there. It was absolutely incredible. One of the greatest memories I have on any travels that we did. It was so touching, so amazing, right? And like you said, when we went to the beaches, to stand on the beaches, to see what these young men had to do, and it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible. Gives you a whole different kind of appreciation, that's for sure. Right? And me as a German, it is a very different kind of approach, but we see these troops as liberators, right? We got rid of this pest of fascism, and they really made happen what this world looks like today. So kudos to these men. We can't thank them enough, right? Moving on to the Duro River, that's Portugal, and it will take us a little bit even into Spain, into Salamanca. Now, this is we all know the port wines, the fortified wines, that, the beautiful fado music. So there's a whole kind of different kind of immersion into the culture here. The amazing breads that come to mind. I haven't been on Viking on the Douro, but I talked to a lot of people. I've been to Lisbon and Porto, so I did try the incredible breads. I'm a big fan. And the food of Portugal, oh my goodness. I can easily spend some time there. This is definitely on my personal bucket list, is Portugal, right? The problem here is that the ships are smaller, so they're really well booked. So if you're thinking at some point going to Portugal, let Patti know. We might be looking a year out, but we're gonna get you there, right? So talking about these incredible ships, these long ships, they're called long ships because of the Viking history, right? The ancient long ships that the Vikings built were called long ships. So we thought, we'll call ours long ships, right? They're not longer than any other ships, but they offer you a lot of luxury, a lot of choices of cabins. And I think, again, the big benefit of going through a travel agent and using their expertise who have been on the ships and know the cabin categories, in talking to you, in finding out what you need, what you want, what your must-haves would like to have be, you know, your travel agent can very well figure out for you what is the right cabin, the right location on the ship to choose from. So huge benefits in going through a travel agent. I highly encourage you. And what these ships like on the interior, understated, elegant, beautiful, light, bright spaces, sealing the floor windows all throughout the ship. And that's really amazing to, even in the restaurant, have a ceiling to floor window where you can look outside, even during the dining hours when we sail. You're not missing anything that's passing on the outside there. These are wonderful, beautifully designed ships, and they feel very open, very airy and contemporary. There is, of course, a bar. We are a cruise ship. There's got to be a bar, and it's well stocked, and the waiters are quick with a drink, so they know their business. They're fantastic people. They are very, very friendly, entertaining, as all of our staff. They're service people. I can't remember the last time when we had a service-related issue on the entire fleet, and we have almost 100 ships. These people are amazing. I mean, how they do it day after day after day, really put their private life beside and just focus on the guests. And there's always a smile, there's always a wink in the eye, there's always like, can I help you? They I give you an example, just what it means to be incredibly service orientated. I went on a journey on Viking, and I read a book, you know, and I didn't get to finish it. So and our staff knows that we frequently come back. So somehow someone made a note in my profile when I came back on Viking. That book, that same book, was laying on my nightstand at the same page that I left it at.
Cool.
How amazing is that? They don't have to do that. That just blew my mind. Like, it's like, that's the type of people we have on board. I mean, I felt like, oh my God, I have to step up my game to match what they are doing there on board. This is just incredible, right? So I'm sorry, I get sometimes carried away off topic, but I thought I wanted to share this kind of story with you as well. So this is probably, I don't know, Patti, Marcia, you've been on those as well. How about these kind of spots here on the ships?
It's awesome. That's the Aquavit Terrace, and it's off of the main lounge area, and it's a wonderful casual area. They have buffet, light snacks, breakfast and lunch. Sometimes they have a grill out there. They'll be grilling, you know, burgers or chicken breasts or shrimp skewers, and it's just a delightful place to take in the scenery, just bask along, and you're just gliding through this territory.
It is such an amazing spot to enjoy the journey, right? You sit out there with a glass of wine, a cup of coffee in the morning, and you're gliding into the sunrise or the sunset. It's just magical. It's just absolutely fantastic. And you can choose to have your dinner served out there.
Mm-hmm.
You can choose to have your lunch or breakfast served out there. This is a wonderful option to have, right? Now, the staterooms itself, I mentioned that there's numerous choices based on your needs, based on your wants. So I encourage you to talk to your travel advisor of Magic Cruises and Tours to find the right one that works best for you. Now, I promised you in the beginning that I want to bring a couple of these sailings to you and kind of mention some of them that we're doing this year already. So here it is. Welcome back to the world 2021. Before I do that, I wanted to just give you a couple of corner points on, or core points of our safety and health protocol. Now, we want to return to sailing. Absolutely. We all do, but we want to do it safely. So there's a couple of hoops we all have to jump through, right? And these kind of things will not go away by the turn of this year in from 21 to 22. I think some of these things are here to stay a little bit longer. First and foremost, we all have to get vaccinated or be vaccinated in order to sail, right? That is just a given. The way our lead medical advisor, Dr. Bono, explained it to me is that she has an obligation, and she's very firm on that, not only to protect the passengers, but also to protect the crew on board. Every crew member is vaccinated. Every passenger will be vaccinated. But we equally also have a responsibility to the communities that we're visiting. So are we going above and beyond? Absolutely. But the last thing anybody needs is another outbreak on another cruise ship. And whatever we can do on our end, we will do, right? So there will be on Viking Oceans with PCR testing laboratories on board to test passengers on board, right? And this is not the nasty nose swab. So this is a PCR testing, works with a saliva sample. So you have little vials in your cabin, you leave a saliva sample, and your room attendant will collect them and will get them tested on board in our onboard. So you also get a printout at the last day of your journey that you can then take to the airport, and you have your documentation for the journey back. So as convenient as we can make it for you, we do. There goes a lot of thinking into the safety and health protocol for social distancing. You know, we really have some amazing facilities on board, extended cleaning. If you want to know a little more, please check back with Patti and her team. They have details on all of that, what Viking is doing. They can walk you through. Too much to mention here. I don't want to, you know, bore you with all the details, but some of you might actually want to know all the details. And you know, we talked about it, actually, the whole team of Magic Cruises a couple of days ago, and I gave them all the information that you might be interested in. So welcome back to the world. What's open, right? Greek Isle discovery is a round trip from Valletta, 11 days into the Greek Isles. How amazing does that sound, right? Sign me up. Adriatic Jewels. I'm a huge fan of the Adriatic coastline. Zadar, Split, Dubrovnik, Montenegro. I mean, it goes on, and it's one of the most charming coastlines in the world that I had the great pleasure of experiencing. Pristine waters. It is so crystal clear. It's just almost unreal. And people are friendly, and the food is amazing. So if you hadn't had a chance to go to the Adriatic, go do it. Mediterranean and Malta, Iberia, those 12 days, 21 days back to back, Adriatic in Greece, Western Mediterranean. So again, if anything stands out to you, give Patti and her team a call. They will point you in the right direction. Here's one journey that really took us off guard, and that's Iceland Natural Beauty. So when we had the opportunity, we spoke to the Icelandic government, and they said they looked at the safety and health protocol of Viking, and they felt very comfortable with this. So they felt so comfortable that they said, Viking, yes, go ahead. You're allowed to come. So we put out, I think it was 6 sailings, just to kind of see if people would be possibly interested in going. 6 sailings sold out that day in 9 hours. I have never seen anything like it. So what happened is, when we woke up from that shock, we took a couple of ships and moved them to Iceland to really help with the demand for this. And here we are, Iceland's Natural Beauty. It's a circumnavigation of Iceland. It goes into fjords that sometimes have only 900, 800 people living there, right? Small villages that we're visiting. It is, you know, the ancient Vikings called it the land of the gods, because they couldn't believe that it was actually for people. They were so stunned by this place, by the natural beauty. They said, well, the gods got to live here. It's that beautiful, right? So Bermuda is open. We're on our 3rd journey in Bermuda. People having a great time. The Bermudan government actually lifted some restrictions, so you can roam free, do your own thing, jog, go shopping. You know, things getting looser and looser as we go, right? Now, what I'm telling you right now, these are all things that are valid today. You know, I don't know what's going to happen in 2 months. There might be more journeys, there might be looser restrictions. I expect to see more river cruises as we go. And that's definitely something you want to check back with Patti and her team. Hey, what's the Danube look like? What is, you know, Russia look like? Those kind of things. They will keep you posted. I'm very, very sure of that. Rhine Getaway, I said Portugal is open. So we talked about those. Now, also those beautiful journeys in France are open. Lyon and Provence, France's finest, which is actually a back-to-back 8 days in Lyon and Provence and 8 days in Paris. Absolutely magical, right? Patti, you mentioned initially that you have a lot of back-to-backs, even river ocean back-to-backs. How fun is that, right? How fun is that? And because we are a river ocean cruise company, we can do those. Speaking of ocean, here they are. There is an entire fleet of 6 beautiful vessels. We actually floated out number 8 today.
Yay!
Yes, floated out number 8. Her name is Viking Mars. I think we're running out of stars very soon. What do we have? Venus, Neptune, right? So
Jupiter.
we might look into different concepts, but as of now, Viking Mars is launching in the spring. So similar to what we talked about on rivers, you have multiple choices. Here's one thing that you have on Viking Oceans that stands out to me, and I'm sure to you as well, is that every single cabin is an outside veranda cabin. So even your entry level cabin, your minimum cabin will have a private veranda. How awesome is that, right? So we don't
Fresh
believe
air.
in,
Yeah.
I know, we don't believe in indoor cabins or ocean view cabins. You have a veranda, and they're not obstructed by a lifeboat either. So there's no hidden shenanigans there. You have a view on every single cabin. Light-filled spaces, and these ships are filled with art, literature, history, photography, artwork. Wherever you go, these are floating galleries that are so comfortable and beautiful. Now, this is probably one of my favorite uh, images to kind of explain what Viking is, but more so what we are not, right? What we are not casinos, right? We are, like I said, we don't gamble necessarily. Our guests want to see the destination. They want to immerse themselves. They want to learn about the culture, not sit in a smoky casino. By the way, no smoking on Viking either, right? There's no nickel and diming. There's no art auctions, because what's the point, right? We're not looking for those kind of sales event. No sales will be pushed on you on these journeys. We have Wi-Fi included. Every single restaurant on board is included. You do not pay extra anywhere. We ask you to make a reservation ahead of time, but you are absolutely included. And now with our health and safety protocol, you can order room service into your cabin from every restaurant on board during their meal hours, right? So you're not limited to the catering menu on the room service. You can order from every single restaurant. How amazing is that? No charges for beer and wine. You see the long list here. I'm just picking some of my favorites. And we talked about taking a longer journey, maybe going back to back river, ocean, or making this Viking journey as part of a longer vacation. How awesome is it that you can do laundry on board for free?
Yes.
Oh my God, nobody had thought of that. Well, how about it, right? And there's no coin operated laundries. It's free, right? There's beautiful state-of-the-art laundrettes on board in penthouses and above. We do the laundry for, I mean, I'm not doing the laundry for you, you don't want that, but there's people doing laundry for you, and they're fantastic. It comes really stylish in a beautiful box. And I proposed that to my wife. She won't do it. No boxes for me. So now, this is just one of the beautiful lounges, the Explorers Lounge. These are wonderful Vista lounges, 2-story. Just give you a little bit of a design ideas of what it looks like on the ship. And as I mentioned, all dining on Viking is included. The restaurants, the main restaurants, the Italian Manfredi's, which has an incredible porterhouse steak. I mean, I consider myself a decent chef who can put a nice steak together, but that porterhouse, Patti, have you had it?
The prime rib was my favorite. No, the ribeye steak was the best, I thought.
Isn't that something, right? They marinate that for 3 days. And I tried to bribe the chef. He won't give me the recipe. So, oh well. They're absolutely incredible. And all of the food on board is included in the winter garden, the amazing tea time there, which is really wonderful. It's a high tea, comes in these beautiful etagères, coffee, tea, specialty coffees, lattes, macchiatos, espressos, all throughout the ship, always included. You never pay for any food on board, right? And of course, your 24-hour room service. So just bringing a couple of these things to you to show you what the value of this journey is, right? Now, remember what we said, there's no kids under 18 allowed. So when you are lounging around the pool, you're reading a book, you're listening to some classical music, you have a conversation, there's no cannonballs, there's no running and screaming, there is no animators that try to get you to participate in contests, none of that. This is sophisticated, relaxing, grown-ups, right? We're all in this together. I think this was long overdue for something like that. There's movies under the stars here on the sun deck, right? So these kind of things you can, I think the craziest as we get, I have seen a Rat Pack band in the evening performing around the pool. Rat Pack, Beatles revival. I think we had we had Beatles and we had ABBA too. How fun was the ABBA thing? Did you see the ABBA show?
ABBA was great.
People were dancing and had a great time. It was just, but again, no animators. If you want to dance, you dance. If not, you don't. So I think I danced. I outed myself as an ABBA fan. Anyway, and I labeled my age too. So anyway, but here is another wonderful angle that Viking is starting very, very soon. In 2022, we're starting to talk Mississippi sailing, domestic travel on the Mississippi, on the brand new Viking vessel, 370 passengers. Awesome. And it's right in your neighborhood, right? It's not too far away. So sailing between St. Paul and New Orleans, 8-day journeys, 15-day journeys.
And Reiner, help me out here. I know that 2023 is available, but is 2024 open yet?
You bet. We had to open 24, yes.
Yeah. So,
because the long one, the Great American River, was sold out for 23. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy.
Tell me about it. So look into this if you ever wanted to do domestic, or you're kind of hesitant in flying outside the country. This might be another option for you to kind of look into your first Viking journey, because all the things we talked about do apply to these Viking Mississippi vessels as well. But wait, there's more. Hold on. So here's another image of the Viking Mississippi here in St. Louis. What I wanted to show you is another ship that we actually launch in twos. This will be our expedition fleet, Octantis and Polaris. These ships will go into polar regions. They will go Arctic, Antarctic. They will go into the Great Lakes. How awesome is that, right? Small ship cruising into the Great Lakes. These are built for these waters. They have submarines on board. They have Zodiacs on board. They have scientists on board with laboratories that do oceanic research, and you can be part of it. How incredible is that?
That's going to be a separate presentation.
It's unbelievable. And these scientists are accessible throughout the journey. You can talk to them. They are experts in ornithology, in history. They talk about the great adventurers, Roald Amundsen's expeditions. This will be nothing short of incredible. And again, absolutely amazing. And Patti, I can tell you right now, I got a little surprise for you all, because you haven't seen it either. As of yesterday, I've been shared an image with. So while this is a rendering, here is the first image of the actual ship. This is Viking Sea, Viking Star in the front and in the back. And the new Viking expedition ship is afloat. She is on her sea trials right now. Nobody has seen this image yet. And so I wanted to share this with this here.
Exciting.
It is an absolute proud Viking moment. Our first expedition vessel is afloat, and it's not a rendering, it's the real one.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and this brings me kind of to the end of our presentation here today. I hope you got a lot of good information. I think, Patti, why don't you take over on the last couple of slides?
Okay, yeah, absolutely. There's so much more to add, guys, and we've already probably exceeded our time limit here. But some wonderful things that Reiner mentioned. I love the shampoos. I love the big letters. I love the warm tile bathroom.
Yes.
And all the outlets and the USB plugs and stuff on your ships as well. And I have to say that we've been working with Viking for 23 years now. Viking has been a force in this industry, and it's worth taking a look at their history, because Torsten Hagen, the gentleman that's the CEO of Viking still to this day, is an amazing visionary, brilliant businessman that executes everything he does in amazing ways. And you guys have brought so many satisfied guests back again and again and again over the years that we're very proud to have you as a partner in this business. So,
and we love working with you. You're doing a
thank you.
fantastic job.
You know, I have to tell you guys that, you know, there's a reason we're doing this today, you know, in the middle of July, and we're talking about, okay, yes, there's some availability. I saw we opened up some more Bermuda space today for some additional sailings, and that's just not cruising over to Bermuda. It's starting in Bermuda and really absorbing all of Bermuda. So there's always way we can check to see availability. But what we're also finding is that all this pent up demand, and I mean, heck, I feel like going, looking at these pictures, I miss it. I miss it so much that you know, availability on out and the distance is becoming slim pickings. I looked at something today for a Mediterranean Odyssey for June of 22, and it was already sold out. So we're planning now, guys, because there's some terrific savings to be had for our guests, and that can be amazing competitive airfare that Viking offers that can't be beat. Free airfare in many cases, reduced airfare like $3.99, $5.99 from Columbus, Ohio to Europe. So ask our staff about those things. We also have kind of an unprecedented program with Viking right now with this risk-free guarantee, and it's only running through July of 2021. It will go away at some point, and they'll get back on track with charging change fees and things like that. But right now, there's never been a better time to have maximum flexibility in making your plans and securing your reservation for 21, 22, 23, or beyond, as we learned today. So be sure to talk to our agents about this, but know that you're booking with peace of mind that you do have lots of flexibility, and that will go away. The other bonus that we're happy to announce, and working with Reiner and with Viking, is that we've got a special opportunity right now for any bookings that are made starting Monday through the end of July, July 30th in this case, which is a Friday. We're going to be able to award each of you $200 shipboard credit per stateroom that you can utilize for onboard purchases, such as maybe the premium shore excursions that Reiner mentioned, or a Silver Spirits package, or maybe something out of the little gift shop on board. But that's
Viking
just another
shirt.
way. Yeah, like your shirt, just to help you kind of spread your money, cover some additional territory. And because of our working relationship with Viking, we have access to some really extra special exclusive savings programs that are not available to the public, or even to booking directly with Viking, which I say, shame on you, don't do that. You must call us at Magic Cruises and let us help you, because we really truly can help you every step of the way and put a lot of value and certainly a lot of comfort and knowledge into your pocket at no additional cost. So we'll really guide you every step of the way. Those of you who have worked with us before, I'm sure I see you raising your hand out there. Yes, it's true, it's true. But we'll help you with all the details, from, you know, your flights to the shore excursions to preparing to go, and we kind of stick with you every step of the way. So we look forward to working with you in the future. We are open. Our office has been open. We have safety protocols in place. All of our staff has been vaccinated. We can meet with you in person. We are happy to talk with you on the phone or by Zoom or whatever you're most comfortable with. But we're here to guide you every step of the way. So thank you very much for your time today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on here. And I know that I 100% back Patti up on that. There's this stubborn notion out there that you can save money going directly to the cruise line. That is not true. You're getting the same pricing quote direct that you get from an agent. Now, all that Patti said, all that additional care, you know, talking to a real person that you know where they are, there's a lot of accountability and really help you along the way. These people, you can call them from when you're across Europe, anything that, and people do, right? You get calls from on the way, because travel is unpredictable, you know, people miss planes and those kind of things. Now, that is really the great value, that peace of mind that you only get with a travel agent. I have a travel agent myself. If I'd live in Columbus, Ohio, guess who I would be calling? So I live in Scottsdale, Arizona, but Patti would be my agency, my go-to person.
Well, we might have Reiner here for in-person presentation in the upcoming future, so watch your emails. Speaking of emails, we'll be sending out an email notification thanking you for your participation, along with some extra savings flyers and details and e-brochures and things like that. So please stay tuned for more info to come and digest over the weekend, just in time for our sale. Marcia, do we have any questions? Or anything that we might need to bring up still?
Marcia, you need to unmute you.
Okay, there's Marcia.
Oh, we still can't hear you. Nope, can't hear you.
Can't hear Marcia's having some audio
Trouble.
But listen, you guys know where to find us. Please call. Any questions, please bring them our way. We're happy to help you. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. Please feel free to reach out to with any questions that you have to Patti. And thank you so much for having me on today.
Thank you, Reiner. Bye. Bye, everybody.